Now, I'd love to dive into, as I say, like some of the challenges a little bit. So sometimes managing people, or you have lots of people who are working either under you or around you. How, from a management perspective, have you found success in making that happen and making that work?
Torture. I have some of my staff here. Just make their lives miserable. I have combined about 750 staff in about 13 cities around the country. But the people who are directly under me are about 380. Honesty is one key thing, being honest with your staff. Your staff need to know that you care about them. And every single person matters. Everyone matters. From Meseret, who serves me coffee, to Joy, who runs Prologue, to Jonas, who's my number 2 at the agency. Everyone matters at Cactus Communication. Everyone matters at all my restaurants. So your staff for your staff to be part of your vision, you need to be able to articulate clearly what the business is about, and that they matter, and that they're a big part of that business. Even the person who opens the gate outside. Everyone matters.
That's brilliant, and I guess that's part of culture that you set, and instilling that and putting that into it. That's brilliant. So there's the communication aspect. I'd love to look at that a little bit. So as an advertising agency, as a communication house, a big thing is understanding how people think and understanding how to get in front of them, and maybe, could you tell us a little bit about the communication side of things, what success looks like in communications for you in the ad agency?
Yeah, so first of all, it's not the size of the budget. The budget is irrelevant. I just met someone who said, I can't afford you, and wanted to work with me. So I don't want to point any fingers, but this individual produces cereal in town, okay? It's not the budget that counts. It's actually understanding your target audience very clearly. You have to know the ins and outs of your target audience. Once you know your target audience, then you put together your strategy to reach that target audience. The target audience of Coca-Cola or Heineken is very different from the target audience of, let's say, Emirates Airlines or DSTV. These are two very different target audiences. So let me give you an example. If you do a radio campaign that reaches 17 million people, would you put that for Emirates Airlines, or would you put that for Coca-Cola? For Coke, because you want to reach the masses. For Emirates Airlines, it may be a cocktail reception, a happy hour at the Sheraton that takes place once a week, where we do a speaker series and get the right target audience that would want to travel on the Emirates network. So it's very different. So first, understanding the target audience, then the strategy of how to reach them, and then the execution in terms of what kind of work you have to execute to communicate that particular product or service.
That's very helpful. There'll be people in this room who are at this stage where maybe they're launching a product or starting a business, and that's what they're thinking about. How do I reach those individuals? And so that's really, really helpful. Some people are here at a really early stage in maybe it's just ideation, it's just the concept stage. What would you say to them when it comes to bringing that business to life? What should they consider? How should they go about setting up and starting?
So if you have a pink Post-it, raise your hand. If you have a yellow Post-it, raise your hand.
Be deliberate here.
You have one? Be deliberate. So be deliberate. That's a very important part of success. Do not do anything that's random. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in accidents. I believe we pave our path. That's how you can be successful in business. So a lot of planning, serious planning, timelines, business plans. Don't take shortcuts. Be deliberate. Does anyone have a pink Post-it? Be in the moment. So don't shy away from being in this very moment. Let me tell you something. Right now, I'm with you. I'm all yours. I'm all yours. And I hope you're all mine right now. And tomorrow morning, wherever I am, I will be there, 110% there. Every ounce of me will be there. So when you're about to start a new business or starting a new business, be in the moment. At that very moment, everything matters in that moment. Do not shift things for later. Do it right there, be in the moment. If you can't handle it, and if you shift it, be in that moment that's about to be shifted. Does anyone have a pink post-it? Discipline, I think I've said it. For your information, I went to school at a Catholic school. I was trained and taught by the Basilian Fathers in a Catholic school, and I minored in Catholicism. And one of the things they taught you at the University of St. Thomas Aquinas is that discipline. Catholicism teaches you how to be disciplined. So I urge you all to convert to Catholicism. So one thing you learn about Catholicism is that discipline is your path to life. So all other religions are good too, by the way. Anyone with a yellow post-it? A yellow post-it? Are we done? No. Okay. Sorry? Is there? Be a lateral thinker. So, you know, I'm about to say something inappropriate. Shit happens. And you need to be able to be a creative thinker to fix it. About 13 years ago, I was cooking at one of my old restaurants, an old restaurant called Serenade, which is now a catering company. And the restaurant was jam-packed with people. It was the restaurant seats about 45 people, and we were at 68 people. We used the veranda, we used the bar, we used the garden, we seated people everywhere. And we had about 28 orders of roast veal with caramelized onion. That's what we were known for, roast veal and caramelized onion. However, we had a little drama when I received 40 orders of roast veal and caramelized onion. And all arrived at the same time. So, and who was in the house? We had one room that had 8 ministers. It was a minister's dinner. We had the American ambassador. We had Mr. and Mrs. Pulitzer of the Pulitzer Prize were there. The place was jam-packed with who's who, and all of them ordered roast veal with caramelized onion. Now, I need to tell you how we make roast veal. Do you want to know my recipe of how to make roast veal? Yeah. Okay. So we take the meat, we marinate it in butter, garlic, and rosemary. We marinate it for 48 hours. After that, we take it and we saute it on a pan with 3 to 4 flames, slowly, very slowly, while turning it around, so we sear it. You know what searing is? Is to hold the moisture from inside. So we sear it, we cook it from outside so it's still tender from inside. Then we take it and stick it in the oven. And we put more butter on it, and we let it slow cook for 8.5 hours. We take it out of there, and we remove the edges. Why? The edges are crunchy and dry. Everyone wants the moist part in the middle. So they take all the edges, and we put it in a very big bag in the freezer, because nobody wants to eat those dry roast veal. So I take it once a month for my dogs, because it's too dry. And the middle part is cut up in slices and served beautifully with caramelized onion and mashed potatoes and couscous, and we serve it, and we have an amazing wow dish. So what do I do at that moment? Lateral thinker kicks in. I opened the freezer, and I found a big bag of dried roast veal from the edges that was being saved for my dogs. But it's perfectly edible. So I took some onion, I chopped the onions in a big pan, added some tomatoes, made a nice, beautiful little sauce, added some cumin powder, added some dry coriander powdered, fresh parsley sprinkled on top, and took all that dry and put it in there and let it cook for about 20 minutes. Then I went upstairs in my apron and I asked the guests, would you like our classic roast veal with caramelized onion? Or would you like my new creation, the crunchy cumin veal? Which one is more appealing? Oh, no, the new one. So ended up, we served the new one, and everyone loved the crunchiness. Oh, the crunchiness. Oh. And some people were like, oh mon Dieu, c'est très bon, c'est joli, you know. And then the next problem was, everyone wanted that to be permanent on our menu. So that's lateral thinking. I think we have 2 more Post-its. Oh, anyone with a Post-it? Is there one up there? Oh, you guys exist. Sorry. Go ahead.
We do pee often.
Pee often. So I talk about peeing because I just think peeing is a waste of time. I genuinely believe going to the bathroom is a waste of time. So I hold my pee. And my bladder hurts by the end of the evening because there's so much in the world to do than sit and urinate. So now I have to remind myself daily to pee so I don't get a bladder infection. So to run a successful business, pee often. I think I've answered your question.
You heard it here first. I feel like I gotta hashtag that one. Twitter. Is there one more leaflet?
Oh, there's one more. Okay.
The leaflet's here?
Stay positive. Can I say anything more? No. I think my staff can speak. Am I positive? Am I positive?
They're very agreeing. So I have a few more questions, but I don't want to be selfish in this. We'll have a few questions from the floor, and then we'll come back. So who in the crowd has a question that they would like to ask?